I almost felt like I won a lottery on this one. So here I am, it's late July, Tennessee, a little bit hotter than what I would like, but I'm passing by cool waters, going past 4 different waterfalls along the same trail even, and get to smell the smells of the forest and hearing the sounds of this roaring, rushing water around me. It was, I would say this is probably one of the most beautiful trails that I have hiked in my life. Burgess Falls is where I'm at today. So to get to Burgess Falls, we're going to start with the parking lot. The parking lot was crowded. I arrived a little bit late morning. I meant to arrive earlier in the day. Wish I'd have got here sooner, so I did have to wait on a parking spot, but fortunately I didn't have to wait too long. There is an observation tower that's just off of a service road that we're on right now, and you get to see one of the waterfalls from that. That would be a great option if you have people in your family that can't handle hiking or any long distance. I have read things that said this is a moderate trail. I've also read the opposite. My personal take on it is that this is an easy trail. So first we're going to go to the right. There's a little trail that goes parallel to the parking lot and behind some restroom facilities, and I'll show you the restroom facilities later, into a little area of these miniature cascades. You can actually get into the water at this point. In fact, at any point during the trail, you are allowed into the waters at any given time, if you can get over to them, of course, because there's some parts of the trail might be a little bit difficult. But there is a red sign that's going to be near the main large waterfall that you don't want to go near, because on the other side of that is a 130-foot drop-off. And you can hear the sounds of the river during the majority of the time that you're out here. It is going to get a little bit crowded out here. So you're going to hear during the video that I'm going to be constantly cutting the sound out a lot, unfortunately. And that's because sometimes I was recording conversations that, it just doesn't really fit with the video. Not that there were anything said that was bad or wrong. It would just kind of take away from the video too much if I left it in. So it looks like there's some remains of some sort of stone structure that was here. I don't know what was in this spot, but at one time this river had been used for several different things. The name of the river is actually Falling Water River. I heard once before it's a tributary for the Cumberland River. I don't know if that's true or not, but probably is. And so some of these structures may have been used for what it was in the past. In the past, it did provide hydroelectric power for, I'm assuming, the nearby city of Athens. And there was also a grist mill as well as a sawmill. And well before then, this used to be a hunting ground for Native Americans. Overall, this trail is extremely well marked. I don't think there's even possible to get lost on here. And as it takes you through, there will be signage that shows you some of the various areas. I was saying First Falls and Suspension Bridge, more or less, in this area. So the suspension bridge here carried a flume across the waterfalls, and it was made about 100 years ago. They use it for water in the dam in the upper parking lot, so a powerhouse. So between these two trees where you see those planks and the ropes, that is the remains of the suspension bridge that used to be over in this area that carried stuff over this waterfall in here. But I was just marveling a little bit at the structure, and also I got some better views of the waterfall as well. I have visited this spot once before. Several years ago, I took a hiking trip to Tennessee. Unfortunately, I didn't do YouTube at the time. But I was so impressed with this particular location I returned. This is not a particularly difficult trail. It is roughly about 1.2 miles. Only an elevation gain about 170 feet, but there are still some places in here where there are some very steep up and down areas. But overall, not too bad. And the reason why I kept stopping here and then looking back at these waterfalls, because I honestly didn't want to leave that spot. I loved it, but unfortunately I had other things to do, because after I got done here, I was planning on going out to lunch, and then I was going to go to Waterloo Falls, which is a swimming hole, and I'll be doing a video about Waterloo Falls later on. It's also a great place to check out. if you're in the Athens Cookeville area. Earlier I had mentioned I had been here before. Now last time I was here, I just walked the entire length of the trail and then walked back the same route that I came in. Most people walk back on the service road, which is what I did on this particular hiking trip. Throughout this time, you'll occasionally come across little areas where there's trash cans, and I saw other trails that appeared to go anywhere, or correction, elsewhere. I actually did follow those little trails just to see where they went out of curiosity. They're short trails and they just go out to the service road. Now, yeah, like I said, I didn't find this trail difficult, but apparently not everybody agrees with me because when I was hiking, I came across a group of people that were struggling, and I actually asked if there was a way to get out of the trail, and since ahead of time I happened to have actually explored up on the sides during my first trip there. In fact, this all happened during my first trip, in case I wasn't clear about that earlier. I did tell them that as soon as they get to one of the rest stops where there's a trash can, that they can easily just hike up there and they'll be on the level service road, and then they can find their way out. This is just a little mini waterfall that was along the way of the trail, by the way. And interesting thing is this actually literally went on like 3 different times, even though they were all different groups of people, but it felt like deja vu. On this trip, I didn't see anybody struggling, so I don't know what was up with that one. I don't know why I kept coming across groups of people that were struggling so bad and huffing and puffing, having to stop along this rail that you see, holding on to it and clenching on. And fortunately there were people there that were able to assist some of the individuals that I'm making reference to. Yeah, people that were struggling, fortunately, they did have family members and friends that were with them as well. But I was very impressed with the way Tennessee maintains their parks and just having the signage. If you see my other videos, you know that I do hike a lot in the southern New Mexico areas. And I don't know why, but for some reason I just find the trails in Tennessee to be a lot easier. I don't know if it's just because it's much lower elevation, because a lot of the trails that I hike in New Mexico, we're talking about 4,000, 6,000, 9,000 feet above sea level. And then the ground here is more, it's less shifty because I'm used to having problems with gravel slipping out from underneath me. Over here I didn't have any problems with it. But if you could do me a favor and just take a moment to subscribe to this channel, and I will be bringing more videos about Tennessee, as well as plenty of videos about cruising El Paso and Texas at future dates, and of course Las Cruces, New Mexico, on the areas around there. And this is also one of the other areas that I saw people struggling, by the way, in that little story that I mentioned earlier. To me, it was just like walking up a long staircase. And if you haven't already done so, if you could also hit that like button, that would also help me out. Again, this is all free to you, but it does help my channel and does help push me out to other people. And, again, it doesn't cost you a dime, but it does help me out a lot. So it means a lot if you would do that for me. If I can't get a subscribe from you, if you could at least give me a like. So we're going to get a little bit closer here. There is no access to the main waterfall from this trail. The way most people get there is they will kayak through there. I will show you some pictures of some video of the kayakers. Actually, I did show some in the beginning of the video too. However, there is a trail that will take you to the top of the waterfall, which we'll get to later. And here's another waterfall view, and over at the middle fall. Overall, I think all the combined waterfalls I had read is approximately a 250-foot drop as the river makes its way down this river. Look closely at this tree. Do you see anything unusual about it? Bullet holes. They look like they been there for a while. Hopefully nobody did that after this became a state park and open to the public. I did see a lot of kids on this trail, even younger kids. And then once we got up to the very top, this is the main fall. This is actually Burgess Falls, its namesake of itself. I am standing on the top of an observation tower. I did have to wait for a few minutes to take these videos as there was a ton of people there looking over at the tower. And there's also a place to sit behind me, which I never got an image of. So now I'm going to go ahead and take the trail that was directly right of the trail that we came in with, or left of the observation area. We're going to go down to the top of the river. This area is fairly steep, not really slippery, except for where it gets little places where it's wet. I haven't used hiking sticks this entire time, but I did actually use them on this one. Probably wasn't absolutely necessary, but it was. It did make it a little bit easier, even though it wasn't incredibly difficult. The main thing is just to watch out for all these roots that are all over the place. Just make sure you step over them and you'll be just fine. The farther you go down here, the steeper it does get. And just kind of keep in mind, if you have trouble with steepness, this may not be the right area for you because you still have to get back up. It's just like climbing several flights of stairs to get back up. And the reason why I kept pausing and going slow is because I'm waiting on somebody that fell behind me for a little bit. So I'm going slow on purpose to wait for the other person to catch up. Once I get to the bottom, the first time I was out here, this area where the rocks are in front, this little flat area surface, actually did have water, and I think the water was kind of high at that time, especially compared to what it is now. I don't know what the norm is, but there is the top of the waterfall going over. People sitting there just watching, enjoying the waterfall while they're out there. And throughout this area, the water really isn't that deep. It's not really great for swimming, as it's only a few inches. And then the water, like I noticed the first time I was out here, the water was rushing pretty fast. So I didn't go into the deeper areas. I did see people wading out into the deeper areas. I wasn't dressed appropriately for it, so I didn't go anything more than ankle deep. But I did walk along here. The rocks can be a little bit slippery in this section, so if you choose to walk around here, just be mindful of that and be careful. Last time I was out here, I actually packed a lunch, and the people I was with at that trip, we all stopped and ate over here. There was an actual proper area. Back then, there was a log that was resting in the middle of the river, so we were sitting there on the log. We're getting our feet wet, but it was pretty fun though. Now we're going to return back up the stairs that we came in. I'm going to speed up the video a little bit slightly. It's only going a little bit faster than real life, just to make it go quicker. Once you get all the way to the top, again, you could either go back the same way you went out, or you can just continue to, as a trail kind of goes straight and off to the left a little bit, that will take you directly to the service road. And once you get to the service road, it is much flatter, much easier to walk. I've heard that some people will actually walk the service road first to get to this point, and then just hike up the scenic trail. They'll do it kind of like a reverse loop of what I'm doing right here. So however you want to do it, that's fine. So this is what it looks like. So if you ever get over there, you'll see this video. You'll know exactly what the service road looks like. And some sort of, I don't know, caterpillar. I'm not used to seeing that type of critter in the Southwest. Now, once you get up to the service road, vehicles are not allowed on this road. So if you get the idea that you'll just have somebody come and drive and pick you up, it's not going to work out. This is for law enforcement, forest personnel, or from the state park anyway. This area is very beautiful, but unfortunately it does get a little redundant, so we'll go ahead and speed up the video and then take you straight over to the trailhead again. This is going to be the parking lot, and right now we're going over to the bathroom and picnic area. You'll be able to see what that looks like. So you're going to, as you pass by the parking lot first, you will see that you don't actually have to eat there on the trail like I did, and you also see that there's a playground area in the back. So there should be some videos that will be coming up. Please consider clicking on one of them, and hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already done so, please. Y'all have a good day, and I hope you enjoyed this video.